Hi everyone. For the last couple of months I've been building a stereo camera rig for the Oculus Rift and also a series of augmented reality demonstrations to go along with it. In this video I'm going to show you how I put together the stereo camera rig and also demonstrate the augmented reality applications. So starting with the cameras themselves, these are Logitech C310 webcams stripped down to the board level. There are a number of reasons why I chose these cameras above, for instance, the PS3i cameras. Those details can be found in the blog post on my website. There will be a link below this video. Onto these cameras I've mounted 120-degree field of view lenses, and I've mounted the cameras in portrait mode. So this means that there are a greater number of pixels vertically than there are horizontally, and this matches the way that the Rift portions up the screen between left and right. So the cameras are mounted onto these molds that I've made. This is a polyplastic material which melts at high temperatures and then resolidifies at room temperature. This simply allows greater accuracy when rotating the cameras to achieve convergence. The camera mounts are then mounted onto this 3D printed object, like so, which then slides onto the Rift and can slide back and forth. So that's the physical camera rig. So you'll also notice that I have these reflective markers positioned around the Rift. That's because the lab we have here is fitted out with a motion capture system. So we stream in real time the 6 degree of freedom data, that's position and rotation, to our rendering engine and update the head position. We can also track other markers. So for instance, we use these markers for as hand trackers. So we've also got a wireless setup for the Rift here. This consists of an Asus WAVI box to transmit HDMI and also the Rift's tracker data. The Rift itself is powered just through USB, following the USB power hack. All of this is powered through a portable battery. This lasts for around 7 hours. We measured the difference in latency between the wired and the wireless version using the Oculus latency tester, and didn't find any difference between the two. The only thing that is not wireless are the webcams on the front of the AR Rift. So if we were to just use the Rift as it stands without the cameras, then we can have a completely wireless setup. With the cameras at the moment, they're cabled using USB cables. All of this equipment goes into this slim backpack, and you're free to roam around wirelessly. So for anyone who has access to a Rift, feel free to put yours on now and you can see what the stereo video looks like. Before I put the Rift on myself, I'd just like to talk about coordinate systems that you can see here. So this virtual gizmo is the coordinate system for the motion capture system. This physical point in the floor is the origin of the motion capture system's coordinate system. And as you can see, that should be aligned with the video feed as captured through the cameras. If we can align these two coordinate systems, then objects that we track through the motion capture system and display in the video should be aligned. There are more details on my website on how to do this, but it means that as we move up and down and left and right in the video image, the virtual objects attached to these hand points should be co-located. So I'm wearing the Rift now, getting the video from the cameras on the front of the Rift, so I can focus on different depths. I can focus very closely on my hands, as well as further away. The latency, we haven't officially measured the latency yet, but if I clap, you'll be able to see the discrepancy between the video and the audio. So we'll get round to measuring that in the near future. So just pick up my mobile phone here. So you can fairly easily use and manipulate objects. I can't quite see, due to the resolution, what's going on exactly. Let's just load the phone up and type in some numbers. So my fingers seem to be in the right place, my hand seems to be in the right place, my body seems to be in the right place. I can reach out and touch objects with reasonable accuracy. Escape button, page up, page down, enter, enter. So this is the raw 3D video. I can also stand up. Got a couple of wires to consider though. So walking around, wearing the Rift with the video, I've got used to it really. I'm not sure how a beginner would cope with it, but I don't feel unstable. It's of course not as responsive as real life, but it's certainly usable. I can perform, just crouch down, up, left, right. Okay, so that's the raw 3D video. Let's perform some interaction. So on my left hand I'm going to put a marker, and on my right hand likewise. So I've designed this 3D user interface as follows. We have a panel on the left hand, which is a series of buttons, and on the right hand we have the manipulator. We have the a little icon for where the palm is, and also for where approximately the fingers are. So the way it works is that you hover over the panel like so, and if you hover over for a couple of seconds it will perform the action. So we have creator, create screen, load avatar, load VR scene. So let's load an avatar. There she is. You'll be able to see the real-time shadows on the floor here. So obviously my physical hand casts real-time shadow as well, but also the avatar does as well, and it's animated. So let's just get up and get a closer look. So it gives quite a nice perception of being co-located with the avatar. Getting a little bit of drift on the tracker there. It should reset in a couple of seconds. So let's just stay standing up for a while. Let's create some objects. So I've just gone into the Create Object menu, in which we have Create Object, Paint Particles, Back, and Toggle Gravity. Let's paint some particles. So this particle emitter is now attached to my hand and performing various motions, and the particles are following me around. Turn that off by holding that on again. Let's create some objects. Got a capsule in my hand with an AR marker in there. I'm not going to go one step further and project a 3D model onto the AR marker, don't worry. But you can see the real-time shadows are working with the capsule as well. I've just docked that in space. The way I did that is putting it in the place I would like and just touching it with my left hand. Let's create a few more objects. It's a sphere. There's another capsule. And another sphere up there. That'll do. So I'm just going to go back quickly. And what I'm going to do now is press this button, Load VR Scene. So most of you know what this object is. The Oculus Rift, of course. I'm going to put the Oculus Rift on. Let's see what happens. And here we are in the Tuscany demo from Oculus VR. And walk around. I can't see my real body now, of course, so I just have the virtual markers. This is the famous house. So let's go back to the augmented reality. Here we are again. And now I'm going to go back into the object menu. I'm going to toggle gravity. So let's have a look at these objects when I toggle gravity. And there we go, bouncing around the place. In case you're wondering how the shadows are working and how the collisions are working with the video, there's simply an invisible geometry here with various depth mask shaders on to achieve the real-time shadows and to ensure that the objects don't go out of the volume. Although I see the ceiling one isn't working properly. So the final thing I'd like to show you, let me have a seat again, is this here. This is Create Screen. So I've created a kind of virtual tablet here that's attached to my right hand. Doesn't have a back face shader on there, so that's why it's invisible to the back. And you can dock these in space or just read them on your hand, for instance. So you can dock them in the same way as you dock objects. Create another one here. And create another here. So I'm creating this kind of virtual arrangement of screens. I'm going to dock that one on the wall like so. That one should load up Google Maps, I believe. Ooh. Not sure why that's not working. Let's try again. Oh, there it is. Google Maps there. If you don't want a screen, this one's shown an error. This is a unreachable URL. Touch them onto the floor and they're deleted. So we've got an arrangement of screens here. Obviously the resolution isn't great, but we can certainly read if we get close enough. I'm just going to grab my keyboard and mouse now, and we can interact using the keyboard and mouse. So this is an online drawing application. So I'm just using my mouse, as we see down here, just using my mouse to draw on this canvas, and I can draw with my head. I can paint with my head if I look up, down, left and right and move my head around. You can see I'm actually painting with my head. Likewise, we can use Google Maps. It's not particularly easy to use, I have to say. Okay, I think it's a bit too far away to get a decent tracking on there. We can also type, so if we come into this paste bin, click on there, have a look at our keyboard. We can't really see the keys on the keyboard, of course, but you can certainly type in there. So that's the augmented reality showcase that I've built so far. Have a look at my blog post for more details. Covers various technical aspects of it, of the implementation. And I'm just going to have a bit of fun here. Okay, thanks for watching and see you next time.